going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. This time we've got a Vegeta deck profile for you guys. So, I know at first glance this list looks very, very weird. It's tricolor Vegeta, and I know I'm blocking some of the cards. I'll scroll down when we get there. But, yeah, this is a leader that is being very slept on this format, I feel like. Not a lot of people are talking about him. And I feel like he's a really, really good pick for this format because he can do what the two of the best decks right now are doing, Trunks and hirudegarn. He can aggro just as well as them. Because he's a blue leader, he has access to Flute, he has access to Unyielding Spirit Trunks, and unlike hirudegarn, which is like, in my opinion, one of the slight problems with hirudegarn, to get cards via your leader effect, you have to give your opponent cards. This leader does not have to do that. He gains a life, so he draws a card, just like hirudegarn would, but he punches for critical. So you don't have to give your opponent cards. This deck actually gives hirudegarn a big run for its money. I play this in the mirror match all the time. This is actually my testing buddy Larry's build, and this is one of the decks I struggle against. My win con when I'm playing hirudegarn against his deck is Shantak Zeno, because he just denies me so much advantage via his leader effect. So I feel like it was a very interesting deck to profile, especially because a lot of people aren't talking about it. And since I test with this guy all the time, I kind of know a little bit about why he had certain card choices. So I'm going to get into the profile. So we have the Vegeta Leader, set 1 leader. Take a life to hand once per turn to gain critical. So like I said before, super strong effect, especially in this aggro format. You're getting cards and you're not giving your opponent cards, so super strong. Flip over at 4, draw 2 cards. On the backside, same thing, take a life to gain crit. You're going to be a little more cautious with this effect because you don't want to put yourself too deep in the lethal range, but if you're going for the kill shot, you take that life, you gain critical, you swing with your leader, put them in lethal range, and you're good to go from there because you're just, like, again, you're not giving them extra cards to defend themselves in the later portion of the game, and then attack, draw a card. So a lot of times I know if someone has something on board and he doesn't want to take a life to gain critical, he'll swing Vegeta in at a battle card just to draw the card and then go in from there. So we'll get into the main deck. 2 Relentless Destruction Mira. This card is super, super good in decks that limit your opponent's hand size, especially this deck like Vegeta, especially in tandem with the legendary Flute. I know that's one of my friend Larry's favorite combos. Relentless Destruction Mira, make your opponent ditch a card, flute it back so you don't lose the Mira. Normally Mira is a 1-for-1 with your opponent. With Flute, your opponent should have -1. And it's way more impactful when your opponent's already low on hand resources. And Vegeta tends to make your opponent do that. Then he chooses to go with the 2 Mass Sand Mysterious Warrior. I don't necessarily agree with this just because it's pretty bad against apes, but he likes it to clear a board full of 1-drops after your opponent attacks if they aren't able to flute them back. So this could technically be Scientist Fu, it could be the Dimensional Banisher Fu. I'd probably go Dimensional Banisher Fu, but he chose to go 2 Mass Sand. Now the blue package, 4 Legendary Flute. Incredible, especially in this deck. He has so many targets for it. All his 1-drop attackers, some of his 2-drop attackers, and then his Relentless Destruction Mira is his favorite target for it. So really, really good. Quick Dodge Sun Goten. So this deck is able to be tricolor because he can color fix with Mighty Mask. So this is his 1 blue target for Gotens with Mighty Mask. And then he plays 4 Whis Coercion. I don't necessarily know if I agree with 8 negates in a deck like this, but my friend Larry goes with 8 negates because he wants to just stave off his opponent's attacks like turn 3-4, like, you know, the critical mass of this aggro format turn 3-4, and he feels as though if he can just leave 1 energy up, which is very, very easy to do in this deck, you negate, put up a green, full power energy, and once we get to full power energy, I'll explain a little bit more about his ideology there. So 4 Senzu Bean, one of the best cards in blue. It just allows you to push harder, especially in tandem with Unyielding Spirit Trunks. You go from tapped out to untapped, and then Senzu Bean just does more shenanigans, and it's amazing on defense, especially in this format. Boost Tech Piccolo is his super combo of choice. I like it in a deck like this where it's more aggressive. Kubito Kai, I feel like, isn't perhaps better in decks where you want to be a little more defensive, maybe like apes. And then Unyielding Spirit Trunks, like I said, just goes from tapped out to back on aggressive mode. So you just go back up to any energy you need to defend with, any energy you need to summon an attacker, things like that. Now we have the green package. So full power energy. My friend Larry likes this card a lot more in the late game than anything, and actually I think my ideology on this is changing as well. I don't think that charging a green and passing on your turn 1 is necessarily very good, because I've said this in previous videos that full power energy on turn 1 or 2 for your opponent, you just neg 1 straight up. And it's not really a huge issue for this deck in Vegeta because you're just gaining so many cards via the leader effect. But Larry likes to hold this for the end game where his opponent can't recycle his 1-drops with Flute, and they're a little more cautious to take that life in the late game because if they don't have extra plays to keep pushing for game on you, then then they're going to be a lot more cautious about whether they take that life or not. So in the later parts of the game, full power energy is a little more likely to become a 1-for-1 instead of a -1. So I kind of like his philosophy on that, using full power in the late game. Then he runs one random newfound power Son Gohan. My friend Larry is notorious for random ratios of things, but this is basically his 4th copy of Intensifying Power Trunks. It's just a green attacker. Then we have the one Son Goten Family of Justice. This is, again, your color fixing off Mighty Mask. The reason why this deck can run tricolor pretty well. So this is good for clearing little things, especially if your opponent's playing blockers. And then you just charge it for green when you need a green energy up. Now we have the red package. 3 Intensifying Power Trunks. One of his flute targets, one of his 1-drop crit attackers. My friend's Larry philosophy in this game with this deck is, if it's not critical, it's not swinging. So unless it's double strike for game. So yeah, big fan of this card, especially with flute. Now we'll scroll down a little bit so you can see the rest of the cards. So we've got 3 Dependable Mom Bulma, one of Larry's favorite cards in the deck. He very rarely flutes this back because he'll just summon it turn 1. Usually he won't tap it for its effect. Then turn 2 he'll go into Quick Rush Trunks or Mighty Mask, and then he'll tap the Bulma to pump it up and then draw a card. So this way his opponent, especially if he's playing an aggro mirror, his opponent either has to swing at this, so it's not swinging at his life, so it's like a pseudo blocker in that case, or it's just going to stand back up and keep drawing him cards. So he kind of puts you in a weird predicament when he plays this card and taps it for a draw. You either have to deal with it and not punch him for life, or you have to just let him keep drawing cards off of it. So it's pretty good. A lot of the red aggro decks have been playing this card. Then we have the 4 Mighty Mask. It's your color fixing in the deck. Said it already. It's the reason why you can play tricolor. So one thing I'll say is Larry very rarely attacks with this card. Like, usually never, unless it's at a battle card. Like I said, his philosophy is, if it's not crit, it's not swinging. So that's kind of what he uses this for. He'll just play it on 2, tag it out, grab whatever color Goten he needs, and grab an Unyielding Spirit Trunks, and then he'll just go from there. 2 Quick Rush Trunks. In his older build, he was playing more. I believe he was at 4 at one point, but once he decided to transition this to a tricolor build, he cut it down to 2. It's one of his favorite attackers, I know that, and he'll pump it up with Bulma a lot to swing for critical, especially in like turn 3. 1 Leap to the Future Son Goten, just your red color from Mighty Mask. Never really going to play it unless you, like, for some reason need to get an extra attack in. 4 Further Instruction Champa. This card and Vegeta just go hand in hand together. It's like bread and butter. It's so good swinging for that double strike critical, especially when you're putting your opponent from like 3 to 1 and you have, those last single strike attackers to go for game. Then he opts for 2 Jiren Fist of Justice in the main deck. This is kind of like a utility card for him. I know he likes this in his 8 matchups. He likes this against people that side blockers in against him. So he plays 2 in the main deck. So guys, that's my testing buddy Larry's Vegeta deck list. It's a very interesting take on the build. I think it could be a little bit more streamlined, especially if you guys take it and run with it. I would say to kind of maybe take out this one random newfound power Son Gohan and in respect for maybe another green Mighty Mask target, or just your 4th Intensifying Power Trunks. But my friend Larry really likes his weird ratio, so I'll leave it at this. I just wanted to share this with you guys because it's a very good choice against hirudegarn and Trunks, 2 decks that expect to get a lot of cards off their life, but with Vegeta you can deny that from them. So I think it's a pretty good meta choice. He does say he struggles against SS3 because of their ability to just play maximum defense, so just keep that in mind. But this is a very good choice if you're facing down a lot of hirudegarn and Trunks aggro. So yeah guys, if you like this deck profile, give us a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me, and we'll be able to get you a whole lot more great Dragon Ball Super content. So yeah, let me guys know what you think about this video. This is Joey from Crosswell TCG, and I'll see you next time.